Kids have a way of testing our patience, and they know exactly how to push our buttons. But my next guest believes how we respond in those moments will shape our relationships with them for years to come. Learning to control your reactions, even in challenging situations, can create a calmer home and help you build a stronger connection with your child. Pediatrician and parenting expert Dr. Mona Amin joining me through the screen to share more. Welcome, Dr. Mona. It's great to have you on our show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
All right, so we know this, I think, but you say a parent's reaction really matters, but why?
Yeah, so kids learn more from what we model than what we say. They're highly attuned to nonverbal cues, our tone, body language, and expression. So if we respond with frustration or yelling, we teach them that that's how we handle stress, and that's how they're going to learn to handle stress. Instead, by staying steady and grounded, we show them how to navigate big feelings. It's not about being perfect, because I know how hard this is, but it's about showing them how to manage challenges constructively. And I try to stay away from stay calm, like we're not trying to stay calm here, but rather we're staying grounded or steady, because sometimes saying stay calm, you got to stay calm can make us feel anxious. But as long as you're staying steady, grounded, and know the moment of whether big feelings are happening and they're going to pass is going to really help.
Oh, I like that little shift in words, not stay calm, stay steady. Okay, I like that. Talk to me about the difference between reacting and responding.
Absolutely, and I think we've all been there. Reacting is instant, right? It's often driven by emotion, like snapping or yelling in frustration. Responding, on the other hand, is intentional. It's pausing, thinking about the outcome you want, and then acting in a way that aligns with that. And the difference is the pause, and it can change the whole dynamic. And that pause can be really hard because many of us grew up in environments where quick reactions like yelling or blaming were the norm, and these patterns can become ingrained, making it feel almost automatic to react. Stop crying. It's not a big deal. Why did you do that? Rather, taking the pause and saying, I see you're really upset. It's about recognizing that how we react isn't just about the moment, it's shaped by our own experiences and beliefs. And the good news with awareness and practice, you can rewire those old habits and see healthier patterns for ourselves and our kids.
Okay, so when we do have high emotions, I understand that you have a simple strategy that parents can use to pause before they do react.
And I have been there many times. My husband will say I'm a recovering, irritable anger management person. So I can say that I've done it, and I know everyone is capable. Now, remember to breathe. It's an acronym. So B is break the moment, step back mentally or physically to disrupt the reactive cycle. This could be taking a deep breath or a sip of water or counting to 5 quickly in your head. So this will reset that fight or flight response when your child is yelling or upset or frustrated. So we create that small pause. The next is R, recognize your feelings, acknowledge that you're overwhelmed. E, engage your senses, so maybe you're focusing on grounding your feet on the floor or touching the countertop so that you feel grounded. E, engage your senses, like I said. A, ask something, so what does my child need right now? Take another breath, exhale, hold space, and then empathize.
Okay.
I see this is really hard for you. And there you go.
Yeah, I see this is hard for you. That's a good one. Let's talk about those moments when our child has a big meltdown or hits you or something like that. So how do parents override that instinct that a lot of them have to just react?
Besides the breathe technique, you want to really tell yourself before you get into that situation, what do I want to teach my child in these really heavy, big feeling moments? Or what would I want in this moment, whether it was my younger self or if I was upset as an adult? Knowing that before you get into these situations can really help approach how you manage it and approach it with maybe some compassion instead of yelling or anger.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's talk about when, because it happens, I'm sure, to all of us, that we do act harshly, we react. Apologizing, I think, is something that's very hard for parents to do. We forget even to do it, even though it's something we're always telling our kids to do to each other.
And I think a lot of parents think that by repairing, you're not an authority figure or that you're putting yourself on the same level, but children want to see that we're human, and they'll learn that they make mistakes, and how do we repair? We talk about it. So remember, repair is powerful. When we apologize, we teach the kids that mistakes happen and accountability matters. So saying, I'm sorry I yelled. That wasn't okay. I'm working on my feelings just like you are. It models growth and trust, and it's not about being perfect or saying the right thing every time. It's about showing your kids what it means to be real, compassionate, and constantly growing, to become better at expressing our feelings and ultimately their feelings as well.
I hear you continually talking about modeling, and that's just another time where we're modeling what we should do in that instance.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I understand you have something parents can tell themselves if they are struggling with this.
One of the big things to remember is, remember this mantra that my child isn't giving me a hard time, they're having a hard time. And this is something I have to remind myself when there's behavior regressions or any issue, that they're going through something. And we have to think, how can I help my child? They're not waking up every moment and saying, how can I frustrate my parent today? How can I make them yell at me? They're really not doing that. So what's going on right now that I need to figure out to help my child? And it's important to also give yourself grace. If you've grown up in an environment where reacting was the norm, learning to pause and respond is hard work and it takes practice, but give yourself a little pat on the back when you notice that you're responding in a different way that you normally would have as a grown-up for your child. So notice those developments in your life, and you're going to see that with awareness, you're going to notice that it's not about being perfect, but making progress for yourself so that you can better show up for your child.
Okay, now let's talk about me. But for those of us who have adult kids, how does this apply to us?
You know, the dynamics will always change whether you have a younger child or older child, but the bottom line principle will stay the same. Adult children also need empathy, they need understanding and repair when conflicts arise. Now, for an older child, instead of stepping in to solve, which we tend to want to do a lot of, try saying, I'm here to listen, or I trust you to handle this, but I'm always a resource if you need me. So they understand that you're there, you're their calm beacon of light that will take them home if they need it and be there for their feelings, but that they are capable with their cognitive development to figure out what they may need more than a younger child.
So I can tell that you've done some work on this yourself as a parent. What do you think has been the biggest help for you as you've transitioned to responding more than reacting?
One of the biggest things for me is recognizing what are the things that cause me to get irritable to get to that point of reacting. So for example, if I'm handling a lot of different messages or a lot of people are talking to me at the same time, overstimulation, knowing your triggers are very important. And that is what comes up in the experiences with your child. So whether you had a long day at work, whether you were stuck in traffic and those activities are building up, you need to realize, well, what can I do so that I don't have a reaction and I can respond? And a lot of that is a lot of mindfulness, a lot of maybe therapy. But for me, it was really recognizing those trigger moments so that I can say, okay, this is what triggers me. I need to take that moment and ground myself, take a deep breath, a sip of water, and here we go. This is how I want my child to see me respond. And it's not a perfect science. You may not do what you want all the time, but you will get there with a lot of practice.
Okay, well, thanks for being an example and vulnerable for us so that we know we can do it too. Where can people get more insight from you, Dr. Mona?
Yes, for all things parenting, health, development, you can follow me on social media channels, Peds Doc Talk, PEDSDOCTALK. I also have a podcast, the Peds Doc Talk podcast, and a YouTube channel, and a really great website with a lot of free downloadables for parenting, health, and development.
All right, thank you so much. We are going to connect you to Dr. Mona's page from our website so you can find and follow her. Thanks again.